Hello, interwebs. Matt Carter here, another Carter's Commentaries. Um, Doing this Memorial Day weekend, and a few days ago there was this horrible shooting of a bunch of school kids in town of Uvalde, Texas, and there's a lot we don't know. I just want to start with that, and for those that aren't interested in prayers and thoughts, I'm sorry that those don't work for you. But I know that my God is an Almighty, and He's got stuff going I don't understand. And I also know that there is evil in this world, and we've known it since its Genesis, pun intended. And if you're a non-believer, man, I don't know what to tell you, but I know it's true that there's a God, and He's in charge. And but because I'm not just someone of faith, I try to be a bit academic for those that find that even remotely interesting. I know there's a bunch I don't know. Sermon today talked about wisdom, and it's one of those areas I like. James, for weird reasons, is a book. I guess because I know that it references difficulties and persevering and how that helps you, and then this wisdom piece. And so we're doing a sermon series at church about it. And in James 3, I have some notes about heavenly wisdom, and that's really what we should strive for. There's language in there about being humble and knowing how little we really know. And the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know. But this week, that of course, because of the discussion of a shooting, there's going to be all this discussion about policy measures, and as there should be. Let's not kid ourselves. I don't have the answer, but I know some things that I want to share here about from an academic and a spiritual, faithful, the Bible work as well. So I don't have the answer. Humans aren't going to solve this, but we're going to pretend that we know enough to do it. But there's a bunch about this incident we don't know. And this is what happens is in the first week or two, there is just an inordinate amount of this is what should have happened and this is what went wrong from people who are nowhere near it. And, oh, by the way, are getting information from sources that they collectively don't trust, namely the police and the media. And then we're going to pretend like we know what to do. And that led me to thinking about this notion of control, because that's always the language that comes up with this is gun control. And here's what I'm going to share. If you want an academic pursuit, you want to go and look, Google this article that I think is worth your time. If you know me personally, hit me up. I'll share you the damn thing. I got it in a PDF. It's older than any of us really would have known when it was come out. For the most part, it was published in 1975, and it's by Ellen Langer of Yale University, and it is called The Illusion of Control. And this is a key in the abstract, just a key little line that I love of this. An illusion of control was defined as an expectancy of a personal success probability inappropriately higher than the objective probability would warrant. Humans are running our policy decisions, and somehow we elevate them as though they're more than human. They're not. They're broken. They're sinners, and they're out for their own self-interest first, generally speaking. And you believe that policy action is where it's at. I've long joked about, Carter for Prez in the 2028, but those core elements of what, if I were to actually run, it's not happening, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not do that. But these fundamental principles are nuclear family, and I really don't care if it's the traditional nuclear family, but when you break a family up and it's no longer two parents in a unified home, there's troubles. You want to talk? Carrie and I, our kids have known nothing but unity in a nuclear family, and we still have difficulty. So let's not pretend that the breakup, and almost as though these traditional methods of raising families that we've just shit all over, basically since Gen X forward, doesn't have a horrible impact on what's going on with our kids, you're fooling yourself. You're lying to yourself. You are lying about the truth. Sobriety, taking care of our wellness, both mentally, physically, and I do want to include spiritually for those that are believers, but absolutely physically and mentally for those that are just worried about the physical sense. Non-aggression, and it, we are not adhering to those principles, and it really frustrates me a lot because then we get into the social media and we're just split. We're splintered. No grace, no mercy. We shit all over things that we slightly disagree with without any real knowledge of what the circumstances are, um, from sources that we know lie. Uh, the government and the media lie, and yet we're going to believe them to suit our confirmation biases. But let me end it with some language out of Isaiah, and it's Isaiah 46, um, and I'm going to hit you up with 8 through a couple of verses, 8, 9, and 10. Remember this. Keep it in mind. Take it to heart, you rebels. That's us. That's me. I'm a sinner. Remember the former things, those of long ago. I am God and there is no other. I am God and there is none like me. I made known the end from the beginning, from ancient times, what is still to come. I say, my purpose will stand and I will do all that I please. Guys, gals, we have free will and we are an evil, so poisoned society, and it's really not that different from what happened back at the Garden of Eden. For those that want to follow that, but here's what I know: we don't love each other. You don't love yourselves too often, and that's a shame. You are God made. You are worthy of being loved. Our children are worthy of being loved. They need to know it. They need to feel it, and they need to know that this fantasy world of the social media is not wholesome, celebrated, and it's unfortunate. And some days I feel like I'm losing that battle with my own kids, and that's the truth. Because it's really hard to convince that there's such this inner peace by accepting Christ, knowing that He's got you, knowing that He's in control. And as Langer says, this illusion of control, because we think we control so much more than we do. We barely have self-control. We can't hardly control ourselves from overeating, over drinking, doing dumb shit that's harmful to ourselves, or posting stuff on social media that makes us feel good in the moment that causes irreparable harm into our most important and interpersonal relationships. But there is hope, and that's Christ. And I hope things like Uvalde and all that have come in terms of evil in our society that we see on the regular encourage us, give us hope to know that Christ is where it's at. Man, this earthly world is unfulfilling. It's a battle, and I can't imagine if you don't believe there's something beyond this earthly world. If you want to hear a further testimony, man, hit me up, give me a call. I'll give you my testimony, but try to keep these things within a realm of reasonableness on the YouTube. So just know that you're loved, whether you realize it or not. And you're worthy of being loved because you were made by God, and your purpose may not even be fulfilled yet. But I hope that you find it. And I hope that you know God has this, whatever this is, and it's beyond our comprehension because we're mere humans. I love you. God loves you. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Be well, be safe, be blessed.